Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome to Eyster Story Time.
Eyster Story Time.
Yes, these are all original stories written by myself and by William. The illustrations are, some of them are mine, and what he does is he goes in there and makes them look like real drawings and not stick people. So, now, I hope you guys are all having a wonderful Christmas Eve. Thank you very much for taking the time to share with us, and I hope you enjoy our stories.
Yes, guys, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and give you guys a couple minutes to get on here. A little bit about us. If you can tell by the mohawk, I follow the Asatru faith. My wife,
Jackie. I am more,
letting everybody know we're on.
I get, huh?
I'm just telling everybody we're on.
Okay. I'm more along the lines of, like, shamanism, Wicca.
I'm inviting people.
Okay.
Just inviting a few people. Go ahead.
I have been doing this for quite a long time. I also write music. Nobody can see me. But anyway, the stories that you're going to hear tonight are Esmoid, Ellsworth, Meaner Elf.
Hey, Rob's with us.
Hi, Rob. We've got Meaner Elf. We're going to also do Warnot Ryks, and that's the Great Reese Caper. That's actually something that was started as a joke between William and I. He came home one night and his Reese cups were gone. I didn't know what to say other than I looked at him and I said, well, Warnot took them. And Will looked at me and he goes, what's a Warnot? And I said, Warnot is this little alien that comes in and steals chocolate and peanut butter. And he just looked at me and he goes, yeah, right. Well, it just started from there. And every time something disappeared, well, we just added a character. So, I hope you guys really, really enjoy your time with us. The last story we're going to do is the Ornament, which is kind of like our little Christmas mystery, and I hope you guys will enjoy that too. So, sit down, pull up a chair. If you got your little ones, hi guys, I hope you guys enjoy our stories. Let us know.
We're watching us, watching you, watching
us, watching you.
Live.
So, if you guys have your grandbabies and everything, this is a very good, this is actually, it's stories by the Eysters, but this is through Roger Rocks. Roger Rocks is, Robin is in Florida. Hi, Robin. Hi, girls. I hope you guys are having a great Christmas Eve. This is also going to be posted on Roger Rocks because Roger Rocks is, we rock. So, Robin, I love you. I miss you. I hope you're having a wonderful time. If you're getting this, call William's phone.
Call my phone.
Call William's phone.
Look, I'm live, going live. I can watch myself. This
Okay.
is like Spaceballs.
This is like...
This is then, that was now. Wow, it's later. Don't ever show that again.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
All right, William's going to start off with, we're going to do Esmoid, Ellsworth, which is Meaner Elf, written by Jacqueline and William Eyster. Go ahead and do the first one.
As of all the elves busied themselves, Esmoid Ellsworth, better known as Meaner Elf,
Hapakai.
I was bored. Hapakai Elf came up smiling and said, "What's wrong with Meaner?" Oh, you're supposed to do the voice on that.
I know. Hapakai Elf.
Hapakai came up smiling and said,
"What's wrong with Meaner Elf?"
"I'm bored," said Meaner Elf. "I've built toys, I've made cookies with Mrs. Santa. I helped refit Santa's sleigh with the Knort, the candy nuclear outburst rocket reindeer thruster, in which you worked hand in hand with Scooter Doo Industries North Pole Defense Initiative.
You helped plow all the snow
I went on the cave expeditions to find new spearmint and peppermint caverns. What else did I do? Oh, I biked the Swiss Elf Alps. I ran the Shorty 100 in New Elf City and raced a soapbox racer at the Indy Elf 250. What else did I do?
I think
I need to try maybe gift wrapping as the idea has made his light's eyes up, made his eyes light up like Christmas tree lights.
See, said Happy Elf.
Happy Elf and Meaner met many years ago when he was helping Mrs. Claus make cookies and candies for the children's stockings.
There are many jobs here you haven't tried, Meaner Elf. Meaner Elf went to see Santa.
Where am I?
Hello, Santa.
Hello, Santa.
Well, Meaner Elf, how are you today?
In a better mood, I see.
Well, maybe.
Oh, you're reading my part. Well,
Yeah.
maybe. I was wondering if maybe I could try gift wrapping.
Santa looked at Meaner Elf.
You know,
Meaner Elf, that you cannot get angry and just tape things up any way you want it.
you have to do everything
Think precisely. When you cut corners, they have to match up. Your bows have to be straight. I will tell you what, Meaner Elf, you can take the gift wrapping class. If you do and pass, I will put you on the gift wrappers team. Oh,
Okay, said Meaner Elf. He smiled. I can do this. Meaner Elf went down the holly hallway to where all of Elf professors were working diligently to get their graduates done before Christmas Eve. Excuse me, Professor Elf Grouchmaster.
yeah. What do you want?
I am Meaner Elf, and I would like to take the one-day gift wrapping class. Where do I sign up?
Really? You need to go 2 doors down and see Professor Elf Sweet Pea.
Professor Elf Sweet Pea. Thank you, he said. Meaner Elf went down the holly hallway and tapped through the door to see... down the hallway. Hello, said the voice. Sorry. Oh, he tapped on the door.
Hello, said the voice. Do come in.
He came to the door to see such a beautiful sight. Wrapping paper of varied colors, bright bows, and colored tape. Oh boy, are you starting the class?
Oh boy, are you starting the class?
Yes, I am, Professor Sweet Pea.
There's an empty spot right over there.
He marched over and was ready to attack his pile of gifts.
Okay, class, are we ready? Yes, they all shouted together. Okay, let's pull our paper out. Meaner Elf grabbed the paper and pulled it, not realizing it was loose. It shot across the table and down the side. He was flushing green as he rolled the paper back. And, of course, the roller squeaked. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Okay, now that you have pulled your paper evenly, grab the first toy and place it in the middle of the paper. And Meaner Elf grabbed the toy, put it in the middle of the paper, and started pulling the paper around it. He was taping when Professor Sweetpea says, "No, Meaner Elf, just place it in the middle. It is not a race. I'm going to show you, corner by corner, how to wrap beautifully this intricate toy." So Meaner Elf pulled all of the paper apart slowly, drew the paper to the end of the table, and lifted the corner and slid the box to the center. Very good. Now, a small piece of tape. Holding the wrap in one hand and pulling the tape with the other was going to be hard. Meaner Elf grabbed the tape, gave it a good tug, and the tape flew all around him doing about 100 miles an hour. He was covered with tape. Professor Sweet Pea came over and smiled gently, pulling tape from Meaner Elf. He was not happy and getting edgy. Pieces, small pieces, said Professor Sweet Pea.
Meaner Elf put a piece on it. He pulled the tape with his thumb. Pull the tape.
How'd you lose your foot? Oh, right there.
Yeah. So he grabbed another piece. Okay, it's stuck enough. Grab the other piece of wrapping paper and pull it up to meet the other piece, he said. Pull it taut. Meaner Elf pulled it more. No wrinkles, so he pulled a little bit more and a little bit more.
And a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then...
The class looked at Meaner Elf. He smiled and quickly removed everything, pulled the paper to the edge of the table, and recovered himself. Okay, both sides taut and taped. Now he looked at the edges. He pictured just rolling them up and taping them. Now we need to corner each side so that it folds with the new creases.
No creases.
No creases. Now he's starting to sweat a little bit. If it should tear a little is okay. It will hide in the fold. Meaner Elf thought, phew, I got this.
Meaner Elf brought the corners together perfectly. Great job, Meaner Elf. He smiled. This could be fun.
He completed the tape. He completed and taped his package. Okay, now comes the bow. Carefully take the edge of the ribbon and pull slowly, Meaner Elf, she said with a wink. He pulled the silver and white ribbon. Okay, we are going to loop and tape and we will cut and fray the ends. Meaner Elf was getting the hang of it quickly.
Slow down, Meaner Elf. We are not in a rush here. Take your time. She turned on the Christmas music, and they all began to dance as they wrapped gifts. Meaner Elf worked through the class, following the instructions of Professor Sweet Pea to the T. He was then walking around class, showing everyone how to make the corners without ripping them, making beautiful ribbons and bows. He was very proud of himself. Everyone was thankful for his help. The class ended, and Professor Sweet Pea brought his certificate. He was so happy. He said,
goodbye to his classmates, and off down the holly hallway he walked. Hernie Yeller Elf yelled.
Oh, sorry.
Hernie Yeller Elf yelled.
Ow.
Meaner Elf! Come have some fun. Warm drink with us. I have to see Santa first. Okay, said Henry Yeller Elf.
Hernie Yeller Elf.
Oh, Hernie. I thought you said Hernie. Hernie.
He's the little Viking. Why aren't you using your voice?
It was Hernie Yeller Elf. Hernie Yeller Elf. He said, hey, you Meaner Elf, you should come have a drink with us. He's a Scottish Viking, isn't he? And he's like, no, I can't. I have to go see Santa first. Meaner's like,
he found him checking his list twice, of course. That's you.
Excuse me, said Meaner Elf, who was so excited. I did it, Santa. Can I go on the gift wrapping team? He handed Santa his certificate proudly.
Very nice, said Santa. Can you start on second shift?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Need our best wrappers that will make everything look great for the children. Thank you.
Thank you, Santa.
You're welcome, Meaner Elf.
Meaner Elf strolled back to Coffee and Candy Shack. Hey there, Hernie Yeller Elf. I'm going to be gift wrapping for Santa. He said. Aye, he said. I guess you won't be chopping down candy canes with us workers. Well, you do what you feel you would like to do better, Hernie Yeller Elf, as he slapped Meaner Elf on the back. Meaner Elf said, what? Hernie said again, well, all right, you do what you feel you would like to do better, and he slapped Meaner Elf on the back. Can't say that. Harney Yeller Elf was a stout and strong elf. He is part wee Viking on his father's side and part Irish leprechaun on his mother's. He was quite loud as he wore his Viking horns proudly. Do you think you'll like this job? I think so, said Meaner Elf. It is different and I definitely won't get bored. Why are you bored, Meaner Elf? You did all kinds of stuff when you were a young army elf. You were the sergeant of Santa's secret squirrel auction team. I thought that would be enough, but I guess it wasn't. You need not much excitement, he smiled. Well, put on a happy face, Meaner Elf. You know you have done well for yourself. Meaner Elf finished up his visit and got back to getting back some sort of rest on his shelf. Shift. Meaner Elf walked back through Santa's workshop and out into the cold blowing wind. As he got in his elf sled, he headed for his house just off Garland Avenue. Get it? Garland Avenue. This place was built up to needing traffic lights.
Wow!
Meaner Elf walked into the warmth of his home. He put wood on the fire.
Plugged in his tree, showered, and hopped into his comfy bed. He was off to sweet dreams by the way of Cookie Express. He woke to his alarm of Christmas bells ringing. He stretched and very excitedly readied himself for work. He poured a piping hot cup of hot chocolate with extra mint because he was going to need the energy.
Work in progress.
But we will finish this one up. We didn't get to finish the entire story, so we will be finishing this story up tomorrow evening. So if you guys want to catch us, we'll probably be in about another 20 minutes, and we'll have this story finished up on Christmas Day. So if you have time, if not, you can catch us through the week and be able to listen and watch us. So next, we're going to be pulling out a favorite. This one is called Warnot, Ryks, and the Great Reese Caper. Reese Cup Caper, sorry. And the story is written by myself, Jackie Eyster, and William Eyster. The beautiful illustrations you're going to see are done by William. Some of them I started, and William actually made pictures out of. So this book is dedicated to the love Will and I have for each other, our family and friends that stood by us for all this.
To all of our vets and soldiers in Earth exploration for being there for us. That's where I work.
Yes, we love you. Thank you very, very much. So we're going to start this out where, because this story is about my nephew that hasn't got my nephew and my stepson.
My son and
yes.
Her stepson.
So chapter 1 is Rowan visits Indiana, which he hasn't yet, but he will be visiting. So, do you want to start or you want me to?
I'll be more than happy to start. Okay. Awakening from a deep and restful sleep, Rowan awoke in his room in Indiana. As the light trickled through his window blinds, he stretched that long stretch, the one that felt so good in the morning. He swung his legs off the bed, his mind wide awake. He grabs the remote and hits on. You hear classic cartoons coming through the speakers as you hear the antics of Tom and Jerry begin to play. His belly tugs and speaks to him. Brr, Rowan, hungry. He looks down and says, "Okay, Tummy, blueberry Pop-Tarts." Off to the kitchen Rowan goes. His young cousin Nick is still fast asleep in spite of hearing Tom and Jerry. Slowly, Nick opens his eyes from under his warm blankie. He covers his eyes as he tries to peek in the direction of the window that appeared to look like a box of angels. The light was blinding. From a distance, he hears Rowan singing the Tom and Jerry theme song. His nose catches the smell. Pop-Tarts. Yay! Nick throws off his covers as he runs into the kitchen. Good morning, Rowan. Morning, Nick. Rowan already had 2 plates, 2 cups of milk. Nick asked if Aunt Jackie and Uncle Will were up yet. No, said Rowan. It is Saturday and Dad likes to sleep in. Okay, says Nick with a smile. Thank you for breakfast, Rowan. You are welcome, Nick. As he messes up Nick's hairs, they both walk down the hallway of dreams.
Nick is Jackie's nephew. He is 6 years old. Rowan is Will's son, and he is 10 years old. Rowan goes to the towel closet. Hey, Nick, I have an idea. What's that, says Nick with a twinkle in his eye. Let's do a floor picnic. Okay, says Nick. What's a floor picnic? When I was your age, Daddy and Jackie used to do this for me as part of our family time. Before they got married, we used to do them when I used to visit when they lived in Tennessee then. Rowan then laid the towel on the floor and pulled it back as close to the bed as he could. He sat their plates down on top of the towel on the floor. Okay, have a seat, Nick. Nick says, this is so cool, Rowan. I think I'm going to have a really good stay with Aunt Jackie and Uncle Will and you. I see, says Nick. We can sit here and watch cartoons while we eat our breakfast. They both watch Tom and Jerry happily eating their blueberry Pop-Tarts. Rowan is hearing a whizzing noise on commercial. Nick is absorbed into the cartoons and does not. What was that, thought Rowan. Probably nothing. He goes back to his cartoons. Nick smells coffee brewing. Aunt Jackie and Uncle Will must be up. Nick and Rowan carry their plates and cups into the kitchen.
Good morning. We're awake, cries out Nick as he runs.
You know that that's supposed to be, good morning! We're awake! That's how children do it.
Cries out Nick as he runs to his Aunt Jackie, jumping into her lap. She gives him a big warm hug. She says, did you sleep good? Yes, says Nick. Rowan goes back and puts the towel into the laundry room. He runs as fast as he can and jumps into his daddy's lap. Morning, Daddy-O. Morning, Rowan, as he hugs his son tightly. They look at each other and laugh. Well, son, how did you sleep? Really good. I love having Nick stay over. We played weed, then we went to sleep. Will said, you played what until how late? Rowan said, but Dad, we couldn't sleep. Nick was a little scared, so he put the headphones on and played weed until he started getting sleepy. I tucked Nick in and turned off, then fell asleep. He was getting to be such a big boy. Nick's hair all tousled from his sleep. Aunt Jackie said, oh my, Nick, you look just like Opal Ryks. You look like the wild man of Borneo. Laughing out loud, Nick jumps down from Jackie's lap and says, come on, Rowan, let's get dressed. It was cold and snowy, blustery cold outside. You could hear the wind whip by the house. Brr, Rowan said to Nick.
Then, all of a sudden, Rowan noticed the Reese cups were missing from the television stand. Rowan said, Nick, did you eat the Reese cups last night? No, said Nick. Remember, we stacked them up in a triangle. Pyramid, Nick. Maybe they fell behind the TV. They noticed a few dust bunnies looking up at them. Hi, Rowan. Hi, Nick, said the dust bunnies. Hi, guys. Have you seen any Reese cups? As they looked underneath the bottom of the TV stand, the dust bunnies said, nope, we don't see anything. Rowan and Nick said, okay, thank you. You're welcome, said the dust bunnies. Well, if you didn't eat them and I didn't eat them, Nick, it was Daddy, I bet. Actually, my daddy is the donut monster. What? Said Nick. In surprise, he is? Yeah, says Rowan. You can't keep donuts around Daddy. See, we went to Dunkin' Donuts one night when I was younger. The man looks at Jackie and said, how many would you like? She said, 12, please. The man gets a small box and starts putting donuts in the box, and Rowan giggles at the memory. You're going to need a way bigger box. My daddy's the donut monster. We all laughed, and it was like so funny.
As Rowan smiled, As Rowan smiled, Nick, we have to find those Reese cups. Nick said, maybe a mouse took them. They let their imagination kick in. They both pictured a mouse trying to pick up and take the Reese cups without knocking them down. Nah, said Rowan. Nick says, kind of scared at his own thought. Rowan, maybe it was a ghost. They let their imagination go. The picture that the ghost was trying to grasp the Reese cups made them laugh out loud. He just couldn't grab one. It would go right through his hands. Nick, Daddy, and Jackie don't allow ghosts here. Don't worry about that, said Rowan. Nick smiled at Rowan and said, okay, and gave a high five. Rowan thinks to himself, Daddy is being funny. So they leave out of the realm of make-believe. Rowan calls out, Dad, 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 Dad! Will from the living room says, yes, Rowan, in here, son. Rowan and Nick walked into the living room. Okay, Dad, did you eat our Reese cups? How about mine, Uncle Will, says Nick. You know you being the donut monster and all. Nick smiles. You hear Jackie laugh loudly from her chair reading the paper. The paper was shaking with laughter. Aunt Jackie did it, says
Aunt
Nick.
Jackie did it, says Nick. No, says Aunt Jackie. I can't eat that anymore. Sorry, boys. Rowan, neither myself or your dad ate them. Okay.
As the boys darted down the hallway of dreams into the realm of make-believe, you hear the boys laughing in rough play. Let's play Wii, says Nick. Yeah, says Rowan. Through the day into the late afternoon, the boys played and laughed, getting to know each other. Rowan felt like he had a little brother, and Nick felt like he had a big brother. Nick had a wonderful big sister named Alexis. She was away at college. Mommy and Daddy were on a trip to St. Louis for Dad's job. Nick wanted to meet Rowan, and Rowan wanted to meet Nick, so it worked out perfect.
Chapter 2, Rowan meets Warnot. It's dusk and both Nick and Rowan are ready to take their baths. Rowan decided to go first. Nick said it was good with him because he wanted to finish playing his game on Wii. Rowan showered and dried off and got dressed. He was about to brush his teeth when he looked up and he saw written in the steamy mirror, "More Reese cups, please." He brushed his teeth and quickly came out of the bedroom. Nick was not there. I bet Nick took the Reese cups and hid them as a joke. He turned to look at the beautiful, delicious pyramid of... Wait a minute, Rowan said to himself. Where are the rest of the Reese cups? All of them are gone now. He saw the strange glow and heard like chattering of metal. He pulled up his jammy pants high. Quickly, he jumped and looked behind the dresser. Aha! He yelled as Rowan was startled back to the sight before him. A small spaceship with a little blue man with orange hair. Yes, orange hair. Like Grandma Ryks, orange hair. Rowan backed up. What is going on here? Rowan said, oh, wow. Hi, little guy. Come out so I can see you. Go ahead. As Warnot maneuvered his ship from behind the dresser, Rowan heard a noise like paper being dragged along the wall.
They looked at each other. So, says Warnot with a smile, you're his boy? Rowan, in disbelief, reaches forward to touch the ship. It was cool and slippery to the touch. Yes, I am a boy. You said, his boy. Who did you mean? Your father is William. Yes, says Rowan, surprised. I have known William for many respas. What's a respa? Asked Rowan. Our planet, it means years. Rowan smiled so big when he found out his dad was friends with him. Where are you from? What's your name? How did you meet my dad? My name is Warnot Ryks. I come from Reese-topia. where for many years my government has had an intergalactic contact with Hershey's Incorporated. We use our abundant natural resources of chocolate and peanut butter to produce mouth-watering candy known as Reese cups. With a gleam in his eye and a grin on his face, 2 thumbs up, he completes his sales pitch for his planet. Rowan says, Wait right there, Warnot. What is stuck in your ship? Warnot shook the ship from side to side, up and down. It didn't work. This strange black thing was stuck in his ship. Rowan says, Do you mind if I help? Sure, says Warnot. Rowan pulled off the wrapper. It was to a Reese cup, one of his Reese cups. Did you take our Reese cups, Warnot? Warnot hung his head. Yes, it was me. Why didn't you ask? You just took them. Warnot looked at Rowan with his big round eyes. I am sorry. I was on a long flight from my planet. When I got here, it smelled like home. Aw, okay, Warnot, I understand. They started to discuss how he knew his dad and how he found him again. Meanwhile, in the kitchen...
Chapter 3. Nick meets Bing Ha-Hoo and Wingling Ha-Hoo. Nick finished his game and he'd heard a strange noise coming from the hallway. Then a whiz go right by the door. Rowan was still in the shower. Well, I'm a big boy, thought Nick. I'll go and look by myself. Down the hallway, he sees the light and hears the TV because Aunt Jackie and Uncle Will are in there watching TV not too far down the hallway. But he's a big boy. Grabbing his trusty plastic holster, placing his cap guns in their holder. He then puts his cowboy hat on and he says, Okay, pilgrims, let's see what you got. He puts his back to the wall, easing his way down the hallway. He sees the sink light on, and he hears noises. What is Aunt Jackie doing? He jumps through the doorway, creeping around the corner of the chopping block island. Yeah, the noise is getting louder. What could it be? Nick feels a bit scared until he feels his trusty cap guns, and they are loaded. Fun, fun, fun! Nick hears tiny voices arguing. Huh? He thinks he distinctly hears, but I want Bommy, Wingling. No, says Bing Ha-Hoo to his twin sister, Wingling Ha-Hoo. I love egg rolls, brother, but can't we take a little Bommy? I brought Tupperware. Shh. Before Jackie hears us and comes looking. Wingling, we need egg rolls to get home. Nick walks from around the side of the counter in total amazement. His mouth open. He says out loud, What are you doing to Aunt Jackie's egg rolls? Frozen in place, they slowly turn around, shaking with fear. They were caught. As their eyes adjust, they see a little boy in a cowboy hat, little boots, and plastic six-shooters in both hands. Put the egg rolls down. Hands in the air. This is Sheriff Nick Welsh. They both stop totally. What are they doing? They both stop what they're doing totally and turn around. What are you? Who are you? And why are you in Uncle Will and Aunt Jackie's refrigerator? Shrugging, they both start talking at once in egg roll in. Nick says, Stop, holsters in his hands in exasperation. One at a time, please. As they both step forward, they take hands and bow in unison. I am Bing Ha-Hoo, and this is my twin sister, Wingling Ha-Hoo.
We are from the planet Eggrola in the Trossi Galaxy. We need fuel, Nick Welsh, Sheriff. We are so sorry to disturb. Well, says Nick, if you need food, that's okay. My Aunt Jackie makes the best egg rolls. Wait, as small as you are, how are you eating them? Well, they are so big, how do you get them in your ship? Nick exploded with questions. They looked at him and said, we use the Sharp, SHARP, which is the fuel supply harness and remote prosthetic. So it's a shrink ray. I see. They show Nick how it works. They grab onto an egg roll, and as it moves through the conveyor, it becomes smaller. We zap it like this, says Wingling. Then it goes into our storage under the ship when we get hungry and need fuel. So your ship eats egg rolls? Asks Nix. No, says Bing Ha. We eat the egg rolls. Nick scratches his head. I don't understand. Could you explain it better? I'm only 6 years old. We tell the ship to fly. Yeah, okay, says Nick, unbelieving what he's hearing. Can you make me small like you?
Oh, okay, says Wingling. See, we eat them. We make the ship go with our brains and our thoughts.
Which means they tell the ship to fly.
Right.
Well, your Aunt Jackie grew up. Can you make me small like you? Asked Nick. Yes, we could. It's been a long time now. How come? Asked Nick. Well, your Aunt Jackie grew up. She isn't little anymore. She has a family now. Most kids of the people we protect can't see us. They don't believe in make-believe and play video games, phones, computers, and they look past us. Always believe.
But you believe.
Right, Nick? That is how you can see us. Nick grabs his toy guns and ducking behind the counter. Bang, bang, bang! I take the bad guys to jail.
And that is our work in progress. We're not finished with this one. But we wanted to get these stories out to you guys. So this is our first 3 chapters of Warnot, Ryks and the Great Reese Cup Caper. We're going to be finishing this up. By the time we're done, we should have about 10 chapters. But we hope you enjoyed this one. You can follow us. We'll be placing stories up probably maybe 1 or 2 a month. We're going to start doing more children's stories. I do a lot of the other stories, but coming up next, we have a Christmas mystery.
Christmas mystery.
Which this is, this story is The Ornament. And I thought it was kind of cool. I don't know, I was doing something when I came up with it. And I started kicking the idea around to William. And I asked him, I said, well, you know, what do you think? And he said, well, you know, let's see what happens. Go ahead and start it. So I started it, and...
You're going to do the ornament?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this one's called the Ornament. By the way, while we have you guys watching, we ask you guys pass it along. This is, you can look us up on Jackie Eyster's Songistry. Also, stories by Jackie Eyster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Please come by, check us out, pass us around, pass the link out to your friends. Next up, we're going to read, it's a story called The Ornament. There's also artwork that goes with all these stories. We have those posted on Stories by Jackie Eyster on her Facebook. So please feel free to come by, read them, and check out the artwork.
Hold on, I'm trying to find the one. Oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay, this is called The Ornament. It's written by William and Jackie Eyster. The illustration that you see is an ornament. I'm going to be putting that up with a beautiful background. That's all. William did that. So,
Where's your folder at? You show them the artwork.
Let's
put it away.
Yeah, it's... Anyway, the song that I have going with this is called Candy Dance by Jeff Poole. Jeff is an amazing artist, so if you're reading this, you can click on the YouTube link and actually listen to the music that I was listening to when we wrote it. So I will start it off, and William and I will take turns until it's done. So thank you very much. I hope you guys are enjoying everything. Here we go. I awoke to the sunlight bursting through the blinds. I rolled over to kiss William on his nose. I say, "Good morning." Then I pulled all the covers off of him laughing. He yells out, "Stop! Cold!" as I laugh out loud and put my slippers on. I look out in the backyard as the snow blinds me in the morning light. I say, coffee? From under the covers I hear,
Yes.
please.
Yes, please.
So, I make coffee and biscuits with butter and jelly as I pass through the living room of our small itty-bitty apartment. I plug in the Christmas tree. All the shopping is done, gifts are wrapped, Christmas is dripping from every place in the apartment. I feel like going for a ride, says William. I'm game. Sounds good to me. We smile and clink coffee cups as we eat breakfast watching Santa Claus is coming to town, singing along. We have a holly jolly Christmas this year. So we sing loudly, getting up, getting ready. We have to bundle up tight, ready and on our way to the truck, seeing our breath until the truck completely heats up. We laugh and joke.
Hey, let's go towards North Indiana after the farm roads. My family used to have a corn and tobacco farm there years ago. I said, really, I didn't know you came from farmers, William. I was very surprised.
That's me. I was very surprised.
She was very surprised. After about 2 hours of driving around, we passed this little old store off to the side. We are not sure if it is open for business, and we see a blinding flash of light from the window that the sun was shining on. We had driven by it and thought I caught an open sign. William turned around and we went back to the tiny store. It looked like an antique store or like a small flea market, cozy and inviting with a small fire burning in a small fireplace. The smell of hot chocolate and coffee filled the air. The smell of cookies and baked goods.
I smiled as we walked in, and both of us had seen like a gleam of light coming from behind the window glass. Hello, we both said as we hear a big voice yell,
Hello and welcome. Look around, folks, if you have any questions about anything, I'll be more than happy to tell you. There isn't anything here in this store that I do not know about. Almost as all family heirlooms and gift through the years.
You might want to talk like this because that's a woman.
There's... Let's try that again.
Hello and welcome.
You do it.
Hello and welcome. Look around, folks. If you have any questions about anything, I will tell you. There isn't anything here in this store that I don't know about. Almost all the family heirlooms, gifts through the years, they always find their way back to us to resell to a needy family. Needy, I said to her. Yes, she smiled. Love and togetherness is what this store is about. William and I split and went our separate directions. I was so taken by what I was seeing. Old bottles, plates, fixtures, dolls, trucks, lunch pails, furniture. They all looked like they were trapped in a time frame from 1880.
Even the way it was set up, like you stepped back in time. I heard a jingling sound. I turned around and walked towards the window. I was mesmerized by the gleam of light hanging from a small tree sitting on top of the rack. I saw hands reaching around and jumped back.
It was William. We laughed and I said, I swear this is the same ornament. William said, if you look right in the light, you see a bunch of hearts. I said, yeah, they look pink or red if you look at it directly. William said, yeah. How did you know that? I said, my mom and dad took us riding and my mom found it at a garage sale here in Indiana on our way home to Southern Illinois. We moved so much that I don't even remember the last time I saw it.
William smiled as he looked through the hearts. He said, look, Jackie, I see it. I looked through it directly and saw the hearts. I said, you know, I never saw it again after my parents split. Weird, huh? As William stood there holding up into the light, he said, you know, you might be right. I never saw it after Dad left. Can we buy it? I asked.
Can we buy it? I asked, excited. Maybe if we show it how much we love each other, it'll stay with us.
As we walked up to the counter, we noticed small tables off to the side. I said, "Yum, hot chocolate." I smiled and said, "Yeah, let's get some."
Hi, my name is Donna Louise. Hi, Donna Louise. I'm Jackie, and this is my husband, William-Eyster.
Hey.
She smiled. Eyster? Well, that's a scream from the past. I grew up with a few. The name escapes me now. You from Indiana, William?
"Yes, ma'am, I am," I said with a smile. I have been gone a long time. Now I'm back home to stay." "What you got there?" she said to me as I handed her a thin glass ornament. "You know, she doesn't take a shine to everyone. Only the ones with real love in their hearts. She has been around since 1875 in my family. Passed down and passed down. There must be a reason you picked her. I can tell you the story if you like." We said,
Yeah, absolutely.
We said, "Could you do it over some of the fabulous smelling hot chocolate?" She laughed a hearty laugh and said, "Of course." She
brought us back 2 cups of piping hot marshmallows, 2 piping hot cups of chocolate with hot marshmallows and a dash of whipped cream and a candy cane inside with 2 shortbread cookies.
She poured herself a cup and sat down. We sat at the table and she held up the glass ornament and a tear came to her eye. Way back in 1870 on the farm right behind us is how this came to be in our family. Farmer Jack and Donna Newkirk and their family. Their children were Tommy and James, the twins that could sing like angels. Billy, who was the artist and could duplicate whatever he saw that they said on paper. Jackie and Donnie were the storytellers, and with Billy's pictures they wrote children's books then faded out of sight after 40 years. This all starts with them.
I actually have the story written on our family book. Would you like to read it? No, we said in unison. We want to hear you tell it. Okay, she smiled.
This ornament actually was sold right from this very store to the Newkirk children. It has been said that she keeps coming back home to us and know that within the next 2 generations she will be back home. This store used to be a thriving store many, many years ago. We enclosed the back half to make a larger living space. We have been open for business since 1872. Literally started as a feed store and mill. Then we started selling vegetables and eggs, baked goods, and then moved into selling goods. It was said this ornament was seen in a black and white page, and the store owner's wife bought it to brighten the window glass, looking over the fields. The store is open every morning from 8 a.m. until 7 p.m., the original hours. I still get an order or 2 for feed when someone runs out. Now they do the online thing. Okay, let me get back to the story.
The children heard their parents arguing from outside about money and not being able to bring enough to market. Jack said, "I hate to say this, Donna, but if the winter is that rough this year, I may have to go to Kansas City to work to support the family and farm through the winter." The children blocked out their parents and gathered under an old apple tree. "I have an idea," said Tommy. "If we work really hard this summer, we can hopefully make enough to maybe get a little more at harvest." The other children lit up with smiles. "Yes, that's it." The next morning, the children got up early and set to their chores without being asked and went right to work. They worked through that very hot and dry summer, but they knew at harvest something special would be in store for them. This was not going unnoticed by their parents, who went to find empty beds in the morning. Beds were made, rooms cleaned, chores almost complete. Donna called to the children to come in to eat. They were tired, but again, they knew if they helped instead of complaining, it would be more help, and Daddy wouldn't have to go to Kansas City to find extra work. Jack looked up from breakfast and said to his children, "Thank you, kids, for working so hard. We may actually have extra this year." Tommy spoke up and said, "Daddy, you won't have to go to work in the city now." Then he quickly looked down. The children went, "Oh." You know, children, you shouldn't be listening to adults talking. Tommy said, I'm sorry, Dad, and that he wouldn't do it again. Jack and Donna nodded, accepting the heartfelt apology. You kids need to be getting to school to get an education.
Something me and your mama didn't get to finish. I want you to learn all about the stuff in those books. They filed an order to kiss and hug their parents, then off to school. Harvest was getting close. They walked by the store and saw shining in the window. That was
her.
Saw her. That was going to be on our Christmas tree. They all smiled and ran towards the schoolhouse. See, back then, 10 cents was a lot of money, and the shopkeeper's wife had set the price that high so no one could buy and she could enjoy another holiday looking into it with the rose-colored hearts. What she didn't know yet, she would be out when those children pulled their money together to buy it. Back then, that was pure luxury and food, and a roof came first. You didn't have a bunch of clothes and purses and shoes like you do today. They each had a good Sunday outfit they got once a year. Then the good Sunday outfit was passed down until it became rags and sewn into a quilt. See all those quilts over there? Yes, we stretched our necks out there on the wall. All clothes of those patches are good Sunday clothes passed down. My grandmother used to call them Sunday quilts, blessed by the Lord. You know why, she asked?
Why, we replied. Because the farm clothes were so worn, she sewed them together over and over until they were worn away. There was nothing to sew into a quilt, she laughed out loud. The day finally came. They started to harvest the crops. The kids worked extra hard, never giving their parents a harsh word all year. They all worked long hours in the field. Sometimes they would help the other families as well as their families helping them. Community of support is what they used to say. We cannot survive without each other.
They were thankful and appreciative of each other every Sunday. They all sat down to potluck Sunday, sharing a meal with each other. As the last of the crops came in, the kids gathered. Maybe if we pray and work really hard today, maybe we can get an extra penny, and that will be ours for Christmas, chimed Donnie and Billy. Mom and Dad Newkirk watched in surprise as the children busied themselves with helping in Tommy and James singing Bible hymns. All the kids joined in as they looked over the empty fields. Their hearts swelled with pride. Daddy took Mama's face in his hands and kissed her gently on the cheek. The children giggled when they saw this. Hey kids, let's get some grub. Your mama has biscuits, ham and butter. The kids ran quickly to wash up and then into the house. As they came in, they brought eggs and fresh milk. At that moment, they knew that they would be fine for the winter that year.
Getting up on a cold morning and see the windows covered over with frost and feeling the heat from the fireplace warming the room. It was the first snowfall, and Christmas was that week. They did their chores and came together on the porch. They had made 2 cents each. They had enough money to buy her. Daddy and Mama were getting the tree, so they wrote a note and ran out the door. As they ran past their parents, Mom Newkirk called out, "Where are you all going?" "To the store to buy a piece of candy." Daddy says, "Don't spend all that money foolish now." "We won't, Daddy." They ran as their breath made white trails behind them. They ran into the store. "Whoa!" says Mr. Rogers. "I have glass over there. What can I get you kids?" Out of breath, they pointed towards the gleaming glass ornament in the window. "Well, the missus might get upset, but everything is for sale," he smiled. Mr. Rogers looked at the price and thought, "Well, this isn't right." He said, "Wait a minute, kids. I have to go check on something." No wonder he hadn't been able to sell it. 10 cents for this, he thought. The catalog says 4 cents. He came back and said, "Sorry, kids, the price was marked wrong." All their faces dropped and they started walking towards the door. "No, children, it's only 4 cents, not 10 cents. The kids were so happy. They paid the 4 cents and had 6 cents left. He wrapped it, and they each took turns carrying it home carefully, not to break it. By the time they reached the house walking and not running, the tree was up, and the smell of pine tree filled the house. For some reason, Mom and Dad liked the pine scent.
We made decorations, and then we asked Mom and Dad to open this gift early. It was for their family, from the kids to the parents that they loved so much. It was their thanks for you. Thank you for giving them life and teaching them loving them so much. Mom opened the box, and she held it up, and tears came to her eyes. She said, "Jack, look at this. Rose-colored hearts inside of the glass, almost like that we were supposed to be there." They tugged the children, and Daddy hung it up on the tree so everyone could see it in the reflection of the flames. Christmas was truly for family coming together and the giving and receiving of love. "Well, what do you think of that?" said Donna Louise. We came back from the story like we had been transported there. Seeing everything, feeling everything, and smelling everything. I held up the ornament. It was a simple glass-blown ornament, nothing fancy. On the inside, it looked pink and red hearts stretched into each other from top to bottom. It looked like hearts and love. Holding it, I felt so good as I passed to William and took it in the beauty of it. We said, "How much for it, Donna Louise?" She said, "I think it was meant for you and William. I think it's my gift to you both." She smiled brightly. They placed it in a wooden box on a small pedestal inside.
All of a sudden, it was cold and snow was blowing hard on our faces. William and I were lying on the ground. We had fallen on ice. My head was bleeding. Will had skinned his face. We looked up, and the building was dark and had cobwebs on it. Snow blown and stuck to the windows. No open sign. No smoke from the chimney. We peered through the windows, all dark inside, but looked so familiar. No hot chocolate, no bakery goods, just a closed store. From behind us, we heard a voice. "Are you folks okay? You might want to be getting out of the storm. Storm is blowing in all of a sudden, and it's going to be a whopper." It was an older man, the town marshal. We said, "How long has this been closed?" He said the widow died about 10 years ago about this time. Always seemed to get a heck of a storm, too. You kids need to be getting on. He smiled and got into his car. We got into the truck, and there was a wooden box on the dashboard. We turned to wave to the marshal, and nothing, just blowing snow. Will and I sat close, and he started the truck, and we just kind of held on to each other, and we headed for home. That is how we came to be the new owners of the Ornament. And yay! The end. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our stories. Check back with us. We're going to start doing this like, I don't know, maybe once or twice a month as we start working on the stories. And William's going to be putting up his drawings. And it's really going to be cool because we have some more stories we're going to be doing. If you guys want to follow, I have quite a few things that I do. I have Heaven's Closet, and I'm also going to be starting something new. It's called Beneath the Witch's Broom, and that kind of starts out from me as a child going all the way up, and then William's going to be adding, how he came into believing the way he did. And we also have another story that we're hoping to be working with our stepson on, and that's called The Baseball Glove.
The Baseball Glove.
So, thank you very, very much for hanging out with us, and we hope you enjoyed it, and we want you to have a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas, bye.
Happy y'all. Thank you, guys. Kiss.
Bye, guys.
Bye.